I'm sure that you have watched the movie Professor Suddenly and you have learned some few lessons from it. I have actually made the initial video on this channel on 7 lessons I learned from the movie Professor Suddenly, and that is a movie I believe that every Christian out there should really watch. And I'm going to leave a link in the description below to show you the video where I discuss the 7 lessons I learned from the movie Prophet Suddenly. There's no doubt about the fact that that movie was really inspired by the Holy Spirit, and we thank God for the life of the Willows for bringing that masterpiece work together. You know, one of the challenges we have always had in the Christian drama movie industry is that sometimes the quality of the movie is not very powerful. You know, so most time people prefer to watch all the Hollywood movie, Nollywood movies instead of a Christian movie, because sometimes even though it can be meaningful, the process of putting together and the quality of the entire movie might not be worth it. But this Prophet Suddenly is a masterpiece. It's absolutely a masterpiece. And we give God the glory for that great work. And we ask that God will give the more grace to the Winlows to continue to do that great kind of movie and more. So today I'm going to be just talking about the question most of you guys have been asking, that what is the meaning of Miokukusheshe? Miokukusheshe was the role that was played by Laurel in that movie. And I think that particular role has actually made her become very popular, both on Facebook, on YouTube, generally online. You know, people are looking for more information about her. And, you know, I drop a link in the description below as well, where you can know more about Laurel and who she is and her life and all that. So she plays the role of that Miokukusheshe, and in that movie, the interpretation they actually gave Miokukusheshe is that she is the queen, right, of the legions of spirits, you know, of demonic spirits. So, and she was the one that lured Michael, who happened to be the Prophet Suddenly himself in that movie, you know, turning him away from God. But I think there are some few lessons that we should actually talk about also in this particular video, and how she was able to capture Michael. Number one thing I wanted to understand is that Michael was moving with case CK, which was a very wrong association for him as a minister of God and as a believer. CK was not married yet, and Michael was married. Michael was having some challenges in his marriage, and he was always discussing it with CK. And CK, being that he's not married, he's always going out with ladies, and you know, he's always going out with young ladies and messing up himself and all, and he believes that is enjoyment, and he has been trying to talk Michael into living that kind of life. And even though Michael is trying to be like, okay, I'm married, I have a wife, I can't do that, you know, I cannot betray or cheat on my wife and all that, you know, eventually, because of the consistency of their association and the fact that this is the same thing this guy kept preaching to Michael every now and then, he eventually fall a victim of it. Praise the name of the Lord. That one of the lessons I want us to learn in that particular video is that we should be careful the kind of association we keep, because it has the capacity to either destroy us or to ever move us forward. So one of the things that made Miokukusheshe to actually capture Michael easily is the fact that Michael was going out with CK, who is always telling Michael that you're not wise, you know, you need to wake up, you need to wise up, you need to be a man, don't let marriage tie you down and stuff like that. So all of those kind of words were actually getting to him eventually, which made Miokukusheshe to eventually get it. Now, the second thing I want us to also learn in the movie before we go into the question and the concern of today is that Michael's wife, even though she was a pastor's wife, was denying him of his rightful marital duty. You understand? Sex in marriage is an appropriate thing. It in fact, sex is meant to only happen within the context of the marital, you know, cycle. So if you are married, you're not supposed to be denied of sex. So there was a time he asked the wife for it, the wife refused. There's another time he asked the wife for it, the wife refused. So, and no matter how anointed the man is, he is definitely going to need that sort of his life and his marital pleasure. You understand? So that was, I believe, that was one of the major reasons why he gave in to Miokukusheshe, even though he felt that he just speak up by the roadside, you know, and he didn't know that it's beyond just what they did that night, because ever since they did what they did that night, this lady has gain access into his life, and she can always appear and all that. You know, they have established a blood covenant, which was beginning to work really, really against him and against his Christian faith and against his Christian life and so on and so forth. It was a really a terrible situation. So I believe that the movie has a lot of lessons for us to learn and to understand and to live in the fear of God and all that. And I believe that if the another thing I also want us to take note of is this: the wife was not prayerful at all. You can't be a pastor's wife and be living like that. There was no place where it was recorded in that movie that she gave herself into prayer and fasting and all those things, or she prayed for her husband and all those things. The Bible says, lead us not into temptation and deliver us from evil. The husband was being subject to temptation whenever he goes to work and sees CK. The husband was subject to temptation whenever he's coming back from work and see the lady. You remember, it was not the first time he saw her by the roadside that he picked her. The lady was always there, you know. So if the wife had been rising up to pray for him, he wouldn't have fallen victim of that particular situation. So these are some of the lessons we learn in the movie, but there are more. And I'm going to drop the link, like I said, in the description for you to watch the video on 7 lessons I learned from the movie Perfect Suddenly. So the question today is, what is the meaning of Miokukusheshe? Apart from the fact that they used it to mean the queen, you know, like the leader of legion of demonic spirits. Miokukusheshe is actually gotten from a Yoruba name. They coined it together. And the simple meaning of Miokukusheshe is just that I have not committed any sin. That is the simple meaning from a Yoruba language where the name was being called. And I actually love what they did, because it was wisdom for them not to have used the name of any demonic personality for real. Because something happened. I think that should be in OAU. That was early this year. Yeah, early this year. Some students who studied Yoruba were actually defending their poet in school. And one of the things they were asked to do was actually to, you know, do some of this eulogy to Obatala, to Shango, and all those things as part of their project work. So, and I realized that they actually had to go and use the normal, what is it called now? Incantation that the herbalists and those that worship Obatala, Sango, and all those things that they used. So I watched the video actually on Instagram as the student was actually performing his performance that day to defend his project as a final year student of Yoruba, and he was actually declining those incantations. The spirit came upon that student heavily. I think about 6 people hold that lady. They couldn't hold her. She break into the street from the stage. She went out of the hall. Something else came upon her and possessed her. You understand? So I love the fact that even though that was a mystical role, they had to ensure that they use a name that is not a real name. You understand? I've also seen a situation whereby they were actually recording a movie. It was an Hollywood movie, and then they went into the river to actually record the movie, and then they were calling a particular spirit name. Yeah. And that spirit actually came and manifested and drew the person that was calling his name into the river. The people that were, at the movie set, some of them actually summoned courage to actually get that person back. That was how she escaped. She would have been drawn away. And she was performing, she was moving as though something has possessed her. So I love the fact that they use Miokukusheshe for a name, not a particular name of a particular demon spirit somewhere, because that would have been very terrible if they actually do. So we ask that God will give the Willows more wisdom, more grace as they continue to perform their work. It was an awesome work, and trust me, if you have not watched the movie Suddenly, please go ahead and watch it. That movie is worth watching a million times. And I think so far it's the movie from the windows that has gotten the largest viewership on YouTube. I think as at right now, I think it's about 2.5 million views already, and it's less than 5 months. Yeah, it's less than 5 months that they released that movie, and we give God a praise for that. So Miokukusheshe means I have not committed any sin. Miokukusheshe in Yoruba, Miokukusheshe, I have not committed any sin. So that is the meaning of that name. I hope you learn 1 or 2 things. Please, if you are on this channel for the first time, do well to click on the like button, subscribe to my channel so that you can receive more videos and more Christian-based content like this. Until next time, keep winning, and I'll see you in other videos. Thank you.